I've spoken with Mr. Burrell, and he would like the court to execute the count 2 along with count 1, if I'm using the right verbiage on that, just so that they're running concurrent, Your Honor.
Okay, I think I've ordered them concurrent, but any problem with that, Ms. Townsend?
No, Your Honor. I think that if this application for the stay of appeal would, or the stay for appeal would be applicable to both counts. So I think that makes sense to me.
All right, I will then execute that sentence concurrent. So in count 2, just to be clear, again, the judgment of the court is Mr. Burrell's convicted of the offense. My sentence will be an executed sentence of 19 months to run concurrent to count 1 with no probationary conditions. It will simply run concurrent to count 1. All right. Anything else regarding the sentencing?
I'm sorry to be a stickler, Judge, but I think since you executed that sentence, I think you probably have to say 2/3 and 1/3 on that as well. If I'm wrong, I apologize.
Any objection to me doing that, Mr. Applebaum? I think if the first sentence will be 2/3 will run longer than the first 2/3 of the 19-month, but I certainly can impose it that way.
No objection.
All right, you need to serve 2 months, 2/3 of the 19-month sentence, and 1/3 will be served on supervised release.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Let me turn now to the application for release pending appeal that you filed, Mr. Applebaum, and I'll hear you on your motion.
Your Honor, as I indicated, and I have 3 people I'd like to talk to.
Yes, for sure, absolutely.
I just want to make sure. I think this is an easy call for you, Your Honor. There were some bobbles in the road, not trying to minimize any of that, but I think the situation is stabilized and things are looking good. Mr. Burrell has his own apartment now. He's working full-time, as I indicated, during my sentencing allocution. And look at the number of people that have shown up to support him. In addition to having a job, another important indicator of how someone's going to do while they're out on release is the support system that they have around them, people that can hold him accountable. And I am always pleased when I hear him talk. The insights that he's gained over the course of his life, are quite impressive. And he acknowledges he's a broken person, but that doesn't mean that he can't continue on his path. Very few paths are straight line. The things that happened in May are not good. No one's saying that. But I think that those are behind him now, and I think he's going to be productive while he waits to see what the Court of Appeals is going to do. And so you have 3 questions to answer. One, is the appeal frivolous? It's a dispositive issue in this case. If Mr. Burrell prevails, case is over. If we don't prevail, he's got to turn himself into prison. He understands that. He's been to prison. He hasn't run. He hasn't done anything to sort of evade the process. So the appeal is not frivolous, and I don't think anybody can argue that it is frivolous. The other question would be, is he likely, and the burden would be on the state to show this, is there a substantial risk that he's likely to intimidate a witness, commit a serious crime, or subvert the administration of justice? That's one of those legal rules or statutes that has a double negative, and it's sort of hard to parse through, but I think you have to decide that there's a substantial risk that he's going to subvert the administration of justice. There are witnesses in this case, but this is a victim. I think you understand what I'm saying when I say it's a victimless crime. We all know that it's a societal risk that he presented by having that gun in his car. But there isn't a specific witness that could be influenced, intimidated, that there could be retribution or anything like that. So you don't need to be worried about anything like that. He can't tamper with evidence subverting the administration of justice. So that's not a risk for you to take on Mr. Burrell. As I mentioned, there's no risk he's going to intimidate witnesses. The only witnesses in this case are law enforcement, not a risk. Committing a serious crime, I think that's the thing that requires the most thought. He's got some work to do. He's got to rebuild the trust. I think he was doing great, and then he catches this case that you're presiding over, and then he had the case with the 5th-degree drugs this summer. I think he's done a lot to redeem himself. I do. When you consider what this young man came out of prison like, I think he deserves a pat on the back. And maybe people will roll their eyes when they hear that. But think of the horrors that he's been through. And it's not a straight path, Your Honor. But I think he's developing the insights, as he showed you, that he's going to behave himself while he's out on appeal. The dumbest thing that he could do would be to catch another case. The appeal wouldn't matter if he caught another serious case. He has to deal with the new case. So I really do think it's worth a shot. He's worked hard. His friends and family have worked with him. I've worked with him to try to understand what needs to be done in order to stay out. And we're really not talking about a long period of time. I would say maybe 18 months max. He's got the apartment. I already talked about that. He's got the job. I think he's going to flourish. He just needs the opportunity. And why make him go into prison when he might prevail in the appeal and beat the case entirely? So you have tools that you can use if this doesn't go the way I predict. All you have to do is yank him back into jail, be done, and wait for the appeal to run its course. So all those things taken together, I would ask that you let him stay out. I don't think you're going to regret it. That's all I have.
All right. Would you like to call your witnesses?
Sure. Your Honor, the first one is Eliza Darris. Is he here? Could you step forward, sir?
And just so for the record, Ms. Townsend, Mr. Applebaum, I know Mr. Dares. We've worked together. Yeah, if you just come up here, we know each other. We've worked together on other criminal justice related